Okay, here's the last one that we're going to do. And I've kind of drawn it a little bit differently than they do on that test booklet, but it's pretty close. What they do is they tell you this. They tell you that this is angle x degrees. They tell you that this is y degrees. And they also tell you that x plus y is equal to 80. And what they want to do is, what this is basically it's a regular polygon. Regular polygons means all the sides and the angles are equal to each other. And what they've done is they've taken a piece of paper and they've covered it up. And so this is what's kind of covering up the paper. It's not exactly drawn to scale. You know what I probably should have done? Probably should have made this, tell you what, let's make this look a little bit better. Probably like that instead of extend it out so much. Oops, what did I just do? Let's try this one more time. Let's start from here and go to there. Okay. And then let's take this. Oops, oh, I know what I'm doing because I grouped it together. Sorry. I should be pausing this, but I'll show you all the stupidity that I go through to make these pictures. So let's make this go to here, and let's make this one go to here. It's a little small, I know. Let's get rid of all this mess. Now let's group it together and let's make it a little bit bigger. That's good enough. So what we have is we have a polygon, and we don't know how many angles or sides. We don't know how many sides are on this polygon, but this piece of paper is kind of covering it up. See how this is the length of one of the sides of the polygon? This isn't the entire length of the polygon, and this isn't. This is kind of covering it up. So it's kind of covering up this polygon. It's kind of like it's peeking through. So this polygon is kind of peeking through this line right here. So this is kind of behind it all, so it would keep on going, making these angles and lines up to here. So that's what we're seeing. We're just seeing the top little part of this polygon. Again, this was x and this was y. Now what we have to figure out is we find out how many sides the polygon has. Well, before I figure out how many sides the polygon has, I need to find out what each of the angles are on that polygon. If I know what each of the angles are in a regular polygon, I can find how many sides there are, and we'll show that in a second. But first of all, let's figure out a way to figure out this angle and this angle. Remember, it's a regular polygon, so that means that this angle has to equal this angle right here. So those angles are equal to each other. So remember, if these two add up to 80, that's why they told you this, we could figure out what these are. Now look, this is a quadrilateral, what I have right here. So I know that all four angles add up to 360 degrees. So if I take 360, take 80 away from 360, I'll get the sum of these two angles, and that would be what? 280. Right? Now it doesn't mean this is 280 degrees, but these two add up to 280 degrees, and if they're both equal to each other, I just take that divided by 2, and so each of those angles would be 140 degrees. So this angle, let's get rid of these arcs now, so this angle right here would be 140, and this angle right here would also be 140 degrees. Now knowing that 140 is really key to this. It's now it's actually kind of easy to figure out what the how many sides there are. There's a couple ways to do this. I hate to go with the exterior angles, but I don't know, I'm tempted to do that. I don't know if this will help or not. Let's just do this. Let's take this and extend it out a little bit. I don't know, I think this might be a little easier. I didn't do it this way when I first did the problem, but this might work, and the math might be a little simpler. If this is 40 degrees, what's this angle right here, this exterior angle? Well, that's 40 degrees as well, because that would make it 180 degrees, because it forms a straight line right there. Now, there's a simple little thing that we learned about the exterior angles of really any polygon. It doesn't even have to be regular, but the exterior angles of any polygon is always 360 degrees. So that means if you add up all the exterior angles, it's going to equal 40 degrees. I'm sorry. if you add up all the exterior angles, is going to equal 360 degrees. So 360 degrees is the sum of all the exterior angles. So if I take 360, and if I just take this and divide it by 40, what am I doing right here? I'm taking the sum of all the angles, dividing it by just one of the angles. That's going to tell me how many angles I actually have. So this math is actually pretty easy. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So that means there's 9 exterior angles on this polygon. Well, if there's 9 exterior angles, there's 9 interior angles, which means there's 9 sides. So that number right there actually tells you how many sides there are to this polygon. And that's really all the math that you have to do. Now, I went through this another way. I've got a few minutes here, so let me just show you the way that I did it. But then sitting here looking at this, I was thinking, man, I should have gone to exterior angles because that's a little bit easier. I could have done this. Remember, we have a formula for the sum of the sum of the interior angles. Let's go interior this time. So the sum of the interior angles, let's write this down. The sum of the interior angles is equal to n minus 2 times 180. Okay, and that's something that they do in geometry books all the time, is that right there. So if I want to find each interior angle, that's the sum of all the interior angles. If I want to find each interior angle, I would take this and divide it by how many sides I actually have. So this would be the sum of the interior angles. So now, if I divide it by how many angles that I have, then I would be able to find each interior angle. Now, I actually know each interior angle. I know each interior angle is 140 degrees, so I can actually put 140 there, and then I can just solve for n. So it would be n minus 2 times 180 over n. And now I can do the math and solve for n. Now, remember what I said up here. This was a lot easier math than to do all this stuff. But some people go right to the interior angles, so let's just go ahead and do that. Multiply both sides by n to get that n off of the bottom. So it's 140n on this side when I multiplied it by n equals n minus 2 times 180. Let's go ahead and distribute that 180. So I'd have 180n minus 360. Oops, that's supposed to be a 6, 0. Okay, let's do this. Let's subtract 140, so that would be 40n. Let's add a 360, that's 360, and look, I get the same exact number. Divide by 40, divide by 40, and there you go. N is equal to 9. So I get it either way. I think you would agree. Knowing the exterior angles, it's a lot easier. Knowing that the sum of the exterior angles is 360 degrees really helps. All I had to do is figure out what the exterior angle was, which isn't hard because I realized that the interior and the exterior are supplements of each other, so it's 180 degrees. So there's definitely a lot of geometry that you needed to know to be able to do this problem, and you needed to know about interior angles or exterior angles. Knowing the exterior angles, I think, makes it a little bit easier. So there you go. So that would be on the multiple choice. If you go through it, that would be B, which is 9. Okay, so letter B would be your answer there. All right, well, that's all we're doing with that. There's only one question on that page, so I think we're finished. All right, thanks.